Hello, in this video I would like to spend some time talking about the concept of double loop learning. This concept is introduced in our text, and a couple of our classmates are asking what exactly double loop learning means and how does that relate to teaching and learning, and how does that inform the design of an online learning environment. So I'm sure you will be able to Google search the definitions of this concept or find the theories on double loop learning. So in this video, I will not be talking about the definition or theory. Instead, I would like to walk you through a research article describing two different types of courses. One course was designed based on the single loop learning concept, while the other course was designed based on the double loop learning concept. So hopefully by going through this article, we will get a more concrete idea about what double loop learning means. So here we go. This is the article. The title is The Importance of the Second Loop in Educational Technology, an action science study of introducing blogging in a course curriculum. By looking at its abstract, we understand that this article is about introducing new technology as a central part of the teaching and the learning process. And this new technology is blogging. And in the study, the authors developed interventions. The interventions were implemented in two different classrooms. In the first initial classroom, the intervention was to implement blogs by making small adjustments. And they found that the results were largely unsuccessful. In the second classroom, however, the teaching team opened up the class to fundamentally challenge the structure and the relationships of teachers and students in their classroom, and they found more successful results. Moving forward to read the first few paragraphs of the article, you will see in these paragraphs the authors are trying to explain why it is important to introduce these web technologies into classrooms. They particularly mention that this type of technology, like blogging, can fundamentally change the education process because they emphasize community development, collective intelligence, and exploration. And these are very different than the traditional models of education. And they also talked about the new technology tools are rapidly emerging and take important, if not dominant, roles in the everyday lives. So there is a need for exploring how these technologies are changing the teaching and the learning processes. And in the end, the authors summarize the goals of this paper, which is to document the introduction of blogs into a college course curriculum in two sequential classrooms. And they described the changes and evolution of these classrooms from a double loop learning perspective. The next few sections of the paper are not very easy to understand, to be honest, because they are introducing the theories and using pretty abstract terms to explaining the concepts. However, I do want to very quickly go through these few sections by highlighting a couple of sentences or phrases because I think they directly explained double loop learning. So if you would like to follow along, you can also highlight from your computer. The first one I would like to highlight is here on page 339. On page 339, I would like to highlight here to establish change through ongoing learning processes rather than simply directed intervention. And one note about this phrase is that simply directed intervention can be considered as a single loop learning process, while this ongoing learning process is more related to the double loop learning concept. Moving forward, there is another sentence I would like to highlight here. The integration of new web technologies into teaching learning is and will be very much about ongoing changes. Changes that we believe will dramatically impact student-student as well as student-teacher relationships. So this sentence sort of explained the previous phrase that introducing technology into education is not a simple, quick, one-time intervention. It's more complicated than that, and technology integration will involve ongoing changes, and these changes often fundamentally change the relationships among teacher and students, as well as the relationships among student and students. And this is related to, again, this concept of double loop learning. Moving forward, another sentence I would like to highlight, and I really like this one, is here. Attempting to find new solutions through an adjustment to action often results in failure. Not because you choose the wrong solution, but because you were working from the wrong problem. And the next one, I also like it. Failures in interventions, problem solving, very often signal the need to return to the beginning of the process so as to re-examine and perhaps redefine the problem in a new way. So what does this try to tell us is that we need to fundamentally challenge our original assumptions and understanding and ask questions about the pre-existing conditions and contextual factors to really find the root causes of problem, or in their language, to redefine the problem in a new way. And then we develop solutions to solve the problem fundamentally, instead of based on a superficial observation of a classroom and develop strategies to address the assumptions, to address the problems we assumed. So I think this is exactly what double loop learning is about.